Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. We are mid-launch on another test of the LP-RFS. Actually, this is the Mark II version. We just lost. Come on, let me stage. Thank you. Right, let's try not to overheat this final engine. Looks like we're going to, though. Let's see. Apoapsis is 72, 73. Right, so we can go ahead and drop this down to pointing us at the horizon. But we don't want to we're not too worried about our apoapsis right now. What we're worried about is getting high enough for long enough to burn into a full orbit. Actually, okay, now I'm going to worry about it because it's already pushing 80. So, it's only going to take us a minute to get there. Also, we're launching into a highly inclined orbit because I am bad at launching. That's the only reason. Let's see, we only got one piece of debris from our launch currently still in existence. Down there. Wow, that's pretty far away. Considering we only just dropped that. And now here we are in space. Right, I'm going to need to full burn now, aren't I? As full burn as it'll let me, that is. Because we need to get into orbit already. This is an empty test. It has nothing on board right now. Because, basically, I'm trying to get a better launch pattern combined with. I have redesigned the launch vehicle a little bit. I got rid of 2 main sails and surrounded the tanks with a ring of SRBs. That helped quite a bit. Unfortunately, looks like not enough. Okay, I'm gonna get the last bit of this turning I can get out of this thing. This engine helps us turn quite a bit, but now it's gone. Uh-oh. Come on, don't get stuck. Wow, those things just slid right through us. Right. Totally didn't just clip through that. And this thing is going to have a very slow acceleration now, because it is, it's a small thing. Hopefully this should get us into orbit, though, anyhow. See, as long as we can keep the apoapsis in front of us, we'll get into orbit. Unfortunately, that looks to be easier said than done. Although, if you look at our orbit, how far out it's going, we're almost around half the planet now with our orbital projections. So we don't need all that much. We don't really need all that much more delta V to get into orbit. So this should be a successful launch to orbit. Unfortunately, it's going to be barely a successful launch into orbit. And it has no payload on board, so that's not good, because we're looking to be able to bring a payload up here. So this design works fine if we want to return something, if we want to take this craft up and dock a bunch of things to it and bring them all back down safely. You can do that, but as far as bringing stuff up, looks like not so much. Okay, we're arriving at apoapsis, and we're still not in orbit. We're still suborbital. So let's burn up a bit to push the apoapsis in front of us. Right now, I'm not really caring about my inclination, since I already screwed that up early in the launch, and I figured it was too late to try to recover from that. I'll just focus on getting into orbit instead. Oh, we have a periapsis. Periapsis is rising. $80,000 by 90,000 orbit. It's not a great orbit. But it's an orbit. We still got plenty of fuel on board. I'm now beginning to wonder if I should have put more engines on this segment. I mean, it's not really discerned. It's not really discerned to have a lot of kick behind it, but it needs it. The voice and all. Blech. Yeah. I'll have to come back to that. While we're here, I'm going to go into my other save, which would be this one, which I'm in now. And we're going to launch this into orbit, or we're going to try to, that is. It should work out alright, but to be honest, I have no idea how well this is going to work. But here goes nothing. And yes, we need the RCS on right away to keep us pointed straight up, because this thing likes to fall over a lot. And let's hope it behaves going to orbit today. I think I've successfully gotten one of these into orbit on a test run. Not so sure. I'm gonna turn down the throttle just a little bit. Just a little bit more now. A little bit more. And some more. I love being able to throttle rockets down a bit. Okay, we're gonna turn this down even more. Yeah. And then of course we have to immediately throttle it back up to continue our ascent. Not sure how well, like I said before, we're not so sure how well this is going to get in orbit. It should do quite nicely, but I'm not 100% sure. And start turning over. Oh god, don't have issues, don't have too many issues, please. Trying to overheat my main engine just a little bit. This thing is not my friend. This is a very hard to fly ship, as you might have noticed. Come on, get back on 90. There we go. Close enough. Let's see. We're on a pretty good path going up. Alright, I'm going to turn down the throttle a little bit. Hopefully I can do that. Let's see. Doing fairly well. Sending at a quick pace. Kinda don't like how it's jittering around, but that's unavoidable with this design. Oh, I just revealed the name of it. Yeah. If you got that, then yeah, that's what's going on. If not, shush. Alright, we're going to turn down the throttle now. I'm going to turn it down even more now. We're going to turn ourselves over ever so slowly. We're losing orbital speed. That's never a good thing. Oh, no, don't turn that much. Damn it. Come on. Come on, stop rotating. Or rather, start rotating the way I want you to. There we go. Upside down again. Almost at apoapsis. I'm using the engine clusters technique, you might have noticed. That's because this thing doesn't need all that much rocket behind it to get up. It just needs a lot of RCS to keep it balanced. Now, if I remember correctly, when we hit the stage button, we're going to have a tiny bit of issues, because we're going to suddenly be very low on RCS. Actually, no, we have payload fairings to ditch before we have a problem with that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the throttle, ditch the payload fairings, and reveal what I'm taking to orbit. This is the Enterprobe A. I'll give you a better look of it once we're in orbit. I just don't want to have to worry about falling back down. because this thing does, this thing is very unbalanced and barely gets in orbit, or at least when I tried it, when I checked to make sure it'll get into orbit, it barely got in orbit. So we really want to make sure we do this right. Why are you going that way? Stop it. Why are you... Doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's because the way the SAS is designed. Oh, psst. It's because of the way the RCS is designed, in combination with the way the SAS is designed. It has a much more... It's much more powerful when it comes to thrusting up than it is when it comes to thrusting down. Simply because that's the way it had to be designed. We don't even have to worry about accidentally getting into orbit yet. Oh god! I forgot those were there. Huh. Well, they seem to have helped to some degree. Not sure how much. We'll see in a moment. Well, they've given us a good boost before we have to worry about getting to our apopsis. So I can keep this rig attached for a little bit longer. This RCS rig. As you can see, this is based off of the Enterprise. Oh, come on, come on. Let me just... Come on. Turn. Yeah. Oh god. Right. Turning on the SAS is a no-no with this rig. Because it immediately thrusts way too hard with the... Oops, I just did the same thing it was doing. If you give it any thrust that way at all, it gives you a major issue. Okay, let's see. H. There we go. That's nice. Okay, so yeah, it's like the Enterprise except in probe size, and also running out of electricity. But that's all right. We can actually time warp now and get into orbit from here, I think. Okay, let's see. Almost into orbit. Let's hope we don't run out of charge. That would kind of suck. Right. Well, we're gonna ditch this stage there. So let me turn that off. Oh. Don't bump into it. It's gonna bump into it. Oh, we bumped into it. Well, I haven't even engaged the engine yet. Which this engine is surprisingly well balanced, actually. This engine here on the back is what's pushing us. You have to pretty much hold up, like pulling, like W, you know, to push down on the stick, so to speak. You have to pretty much constantly hold that to adjust, to keep yourself from... So it's a little hard to control, but as you can see, we've given ourselves just that extra little bit of boost we need to get into orbit. $80 by 86 orbit. I'm happy with that. Let's stop moving up. Let's twist that way. Oh look, so we can put the solar panel in the sunlight. It has one solar panel on board on the just above the bridge. It basically is the bridge. So we can get a bit of electric charge. So this probe will never die. Aw, there we go. Yay. Alright, whoop, we need to rename this vessel. It's a ship, not a probe. Even though it's a probe, it's a ship. And this is the Enterprobe A. Actually, this is the 1808A. 1808? 1. Yeah, I'll call it that. There you go. We have the Enterprobe in orbit. Now, like I said, I stole this from someone. I stole the idea. I didn't steal the craft. I had to make my own, but I stole the idea from someone. I don't remember who. Sorry, random person. But yeah. Enterprobe. Come in, Enterprobe. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Let's look at it from this angle so you can see it in the lights as we spin it around like a madman. Thanks for watching, etc., etc. See you in space with a spinning Enterprise, Enterprobe.